6. And why is that?
That's good.
It's just you just make a decision, but they didn't take action.
Right. The decision doesn't constitute the action. Right? So there's 6 little frogs still sitting on their lily pond right here. Okay? Let me tell you a story about meat.
That's great. That's such a good news. I fell right for it.
You got to say it really fast so people don't have time to think. I am a terrible, terrible, terrible decision maker. I mean, I am the world's worst decision maker. Before we go out to dinner, Spencer likes to see if I can get a hold of the menu so that I can begin to plan what I'm going to eat that night. I mean, it is that terrible. So I am the type of client who will walk, the type of customer who will walk into a store, go all the way around the store, put 500 things in my hands, and then just decide not to buy any of them. I'm the type of customer who will go onto an internet, put 1 million things in my shopping cart, and then walk away. I'm the worst customer to have, aren't I? So I was online about maybe 2 years ago, and I was doing my usual shopping cart routine, purchase, browse, put in the shopping cart for later. And I was online at Zappos.com. Is everybody familiar with Zappos.com? It's a online shoe retailer. Any shoe for any occasion, for any human being in the entire planet. I mean, it's like everything in the entire world, isn't it? And I had a whole bunch of stuff in my cart, and I noticed the banner along the top that said free shipping and returns on every single order. Free shipping and returns on every single order. All of a sudden, my fear went away. My problem buying online was that I didn't know how it was going to look. I was scared that I was going to get punished with the shipping and return costs if I didn't like that product. It didn't look exactly the same in the picture as it did on my feet, or it didn't fit, or I had a million excuses. That was my problem. But Zappos took the fear out of my problem. They took my problem away, and all of a sudden there was nothing in between me and my shoes. So I bought shoes that day.
300 pair.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you because my husband's in the room, but I did buy some shoes that day. And I did return one, but I was a really happy customer. So Zappos understood the decision-making process of their clients. They knew that people would get all the way up to the end and drop off because of their fear. And they didn't want people doing all the research online and then finding it for real in a store. They didn't want people to be, surfing the web forever without making the purchase. So they took that fear away. And that's the value of knowing the decision-making process of your client. So imagine if you could insert yourself to exactly where your client was making their decision so that before they dropped off, at any point on the map, you'd be able to stop them and influence them to sway your way. And if you can influence them in that space that you are different and better than the competition, they will do business with you every time, regardless. So now that you know your ideal client, you know their decision-making process, you know their lifetime value, so you know how much you can spend on a marketing campaign, now it's time to put together a plan to create your communication strategy. Now it's time to identify the ideal message that you should be sending to your ideal client. We have so many messages coming at us every single minute of every single day. If you have a clock radio, the second the radio goes off, you're flagged with advertisements. The second you turn on your computer and go into your own very own personal inbox, you've got 50 million advertisements coming at you. You turn on the television, everywhere you go, the radio, people just trying to sell you things every single minute. And what we do with most of this information is that we tend to block it out of our conscious mind. But there are a couple of key messages, or there's a couple of ads that always seem to get through to us, aren't there? They're the ones that kind of just hit us right between the eyes. They seem to be talking just to us, just to our problems. How do they know? Right? Those are the ones that make it through to us. So whether you're going to create your own copy for your marketing, or whether you're going to have somebody else do it, it's very important that you know what the key components are to creating an effective message. So we're all going to do a role play right now. We're all going to pretend that we're men, ages, so you guys, it might be a little difficult. Pretend that you're men, ages 35 to 55. You're married, you have kids. You are extremely busy at work. I mean, so busy that you rarely have time to spend with your family. rarely have time to make it home for family dinner. You barely have 10 minutes in your day to pick up a sandwich and eat lunch. And all of a sudden, you realize that you've been neglecting everybody. You start to feel bad about it. And you want to show your wife that you really love her and that you really care. And that she really means something to you and you appreciate everything that she does. And so you, male, ages 35 to 55, go into the phone book to buy some flowers, because you'll think flowers, that'll do it. And you go and you find, it works.
10 years investing you flowers one time, it'll work.
Exactly. It's all about the flowers. So you go in, you open the phone book, and you see these two. Okay, good, interesting.
That's what caught my attention right away.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that I think both of these ads are highly ineffective. Highly ineffective. And I want to tell you why, because there are 4 key components to creating a really effective message. Whether you're going to place an ad in the Yellow Pages, whether you are going to send out a flyer or a postcard or an email or have a radio spot or a commercial, there are 4 key components to having a really effective message. The first is that you want it to grab you. And the way that a message is able to grab you, like we talked about at the beginning, is if it talks right to your wants. If it's telling you about your problem and telling you how you can fix it. Are you sick of the one-off construction workers who never show up on time, or dealing with ineffective companies who never do what they say they're going to do, or charge you too much when when they quote you an initial price? What is the problem that you're going to fix for me? It's called the headline. It's the first line at the top of an ad. It's the first line that you see come through your email. It's the first message that you hear in a commercial or radio spot. But there's only one problem with the headline, is that it lasts 2 seconds, and then we're on to something else, right? So the next thing you want to do is you want to engage them. That's your sub-headline. So now you want to bring them into the problem and let them know that you understand their problem. Let them know that you understand what they're going through. So right away, you are making a connection with them. Right? They get me. They know what my problem is. The next line, after the subheadline, because that only lasts another second, is you're going to inform. So how is your product or service going to solve their problem? And how are you going to do it better than your competition? And I don't want you to think in terms of facts and features. Because I am a busy 35 to 50-year-old man, and I need to buy flowers, and I have 10 minutes, and I don't care that you have crystal, silver, and fine gifts. Does that make any bit of difference to me whatsoever? No. In fact, it's more clutter for me. I don't want to send botanicals to my wife. I want to send her some roses. Right? So remember, when you're informing them about how you can do this better than anybody else, you want to think in terms of benefits. So what is it going to do for you? And then at the end, you always, 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 always want to end with an offer. This is also known as your call to action. And it's a low or no risk way to move your ideal client to the next stage of the process, which is to either pick up the phone, check out your website, order. Right? So this could be a discount, a coupon when you say a certain word. It could be a white paper. It could be a free consultation, a free analysis, something to move them to the next stage.